back to another Museum Minute. We are here in the Into the Great White Sands exhibit, photography by Craig Marshbedian, and we want to talk about a specific area of White Sands National Park. So White Sands National Park is actually still an active missile range, and one of the coolest facts that I think, it shouldn't be something you're happy about, but it is still a really cool fact, is this right here.
So you might look at this and be like, why are you showing us a rock? Well, if you were able to actually come to the exhibit and see it, you would see that there's a plaque on this. This is actually a sad time in American history, but a great achievement for mankind. I'm not just going to say American kind, it's a mankind in general, because it wasn't just Americans who worked on this project. So this is the Trinity Site. This is the monument at Trinity Site, which is actually in the heart of the missile range, which is why anyone is only able to go to it twice a year. Other than that, it's actively being bombed by missile practices.
Now, what exactly is Trinity Site?
So Trinity Site is where we dropped the very first atomic bomb, where it was tested and above ground testing, let me put it that way. We loaded it up on a tower. So we loaded it up in an item called a Gadget, which looks like a giant spherical ball. And so inside this spherical ball was all of the nuclear stuff, the uranium and all of that stuff. And once it got to the top of the tower, you heard the sirens, there was a countdown, and it dropped. And that's where we got the gorgeous and horrible and terrifying image of the mushroom clouds. And you could hear it and feel it from, I think they said 300 miles away, which is crazy, which is almost kind of us a little bit. And so this isn't exactly at the drop site, but it is at ground zero. If you're also looking at this photo, there's fences in the background. They have a fence around the entire ground zero area from where Gadget dropped. After a week of testing, nuclear radiation only went down by 15%. It wasn't until, I think they said the 60s, that they were actually letting people back in to go see it. And it's not just the radiation why they let you in twice a year, like I said earlier, it's also due to the bombing.
But it is still radioactive, right? I mean, it's a safe level for you to go in and spend a little time there.
No more than about an hour, they say.
Wow.
You're still required to wear a radioactive Geiger counter on you. You have to go through, not a massive health screening, but there's a whole list of things that if you have this, please don't come in because it can wake this up in your body, it can do this. It's low levels of radiation, yes.
But still radioactive, which is crazy because this is
very much so.
60 years later, 70 years later. But I want to go see it because it's a historical area, it's historical information. And having gone to the conference up in Los Alamos,
because Los Alamos is actually where the laboratories were that created the atom bomb.
We were in Los Alamos.
Yes.
Yeah, we were in Los Alamos. So having gone up there and actually seen some of those locations and the plaques about, it was developed right here and then sent down to the Trinity Site, I kind of want to make that connection. I want to go see all of these spots.
You were at the beginning, now you want to see the end?
Yeah. So it also is interesting that they chose, like Kim said, it's the very heart of
the missile range.
White Sands Missile Range. But they also chose that for a reason. There's nobody around there.
White Sands is not a hospitable habitat for humans. Now there are some farms and ranches that are still on the site and on the range that the missiles and the government has to make sure not to hit when they're doing it. Even in fact, there is a house within radiation of the Trinity Site. No one lives there anymore, but it was there at the time, and they actually had to pay the people to move out so they didn't get hurt from the site. But yeah, the reason it's there is because it's no one was around that would be affected by it. That way they didn't have an issue of what would happen whenever we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That way no American people got hurt from that. And they just wanted to make sure it was safe to test on, so.
Yeah, so like Kim said, it's a dark era of history in general, not just American history, but very much American history. But there's that historical feel to it that, you have to study history. You have to admit that these things happened. And this is just, I don't know, it's just cool to me I mean, these scientists worked
days on end.
so hard for these things, and
We were in a race with Russia. We were in a race with Hitler and his people. And to find that we got it done first, it's still astounding.
yeah. So if you'd like some more information on the Trinity site, we actually have done a tour, virtual tour. So if we haven't done it yet, click the Zoom link below. If we have done it, click the link above or below to watch that recorded video. And maybe someday we'll get there and
We'll film for y'all, hopefully.
tell you more. So again, White Sands National Park, newest national park. And it is just about 4 hours away from here. So nice little weekend trip. Could be a day trip, long day trip, but
Yeah.
it's a great area to go explore. And if you go 2 times a year at the right time, get logged in, get registered, get all of that, you can go see the Trinity site.
Yeah.
So
Next time, bye!
I know it's not something to be excited about, but it is exciting. Like just scientifically, historically, it's yeah.
And the fact that not just the codes, but everything had almost been stolen so many times from it, it's just